The Old Testament is full of examples of how God moves heaven and earth to honor his promises. Top of the morning to you. When we read Psalm 105 with the eyes of love and a firm desire to get to know God better, we get a message about God and how he's willing to move heaven and earth to honor his promises. The promise the psalmist is discussing is in verse 11. I will give the land of Canaan as your measured portion, possession, and inheritance. Now this promise was to Abraham, and it was made when verse 12 says that they were but few in number, in fact very few. His people at that time didn't have a country they could call their own. The Israelites became a protected group. Verse 14 through 15 says that God allowed no man to do them wrong. In fact, he reproved kings for their sake, saying, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. Verses 16 through 41 list many of the miracles God performed through a few select leaders like Joseph, Moses, and Aaron to accomplish the mission of establishing this small ragtag group of misfits into a strong and rich people with a land they could call their own, just like he said he would do. Verse 42, God kept his word to Abraham. Verse 44, God gave them the land of Canaan, and they earned they reaped the fruits of their people's labor. Why? Verse 15, that they might observe God's statutes and keep his laws. Amplified Bible says that they would hear, receive, love, and obey these laws. The psalmist encourages us in verse 5 to earnestly remember the miraculous deeds God did to fulfill his promise. As we remember how God has been faithful in the past, we also know from his word that he is the same yesterday, today, and forever, Hebrews 13:8. This should inspire us to obey verse 4, seeking to inquire and for the Lord, crave him and his strength, seek, require his face and his presence evermore. As we do this, our hearts will rejoice, verse 3. This causing us to sing to him, sing praises to him, and meditate on all his marvelous works, both in the past and the present. This in turn leads us to verse 1, where we give thanks unto the Lord, calling upon his name and making his works known to others. The word of encouragement today, don't think of the Old Testament as just a mix of old stories that have little or no relevance today. They are there for us to learn and be inspired by seeing how faithful our God can be under some of the most challenging conditions. This in turn gives us hope when we are faced with challenges that seem impossible to overcome, but for God. Have a great day.